Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining me. My name is Michael. Do want to apologize. I did not get one single video in last week. A couple of days I was just waking up late and just a lot of chaos going on. Not necessarily bad chaos. I had my mom up here for a few days and everything, so it's just been busy. I apologize for those who regularly watch and have hopefully not gone without, but have, been interrupted by my complacency of not getting this in there. So I apologize. Where we left off last time was at the end of First Samuel chapter 19. So we're starting off from chapter 20 again, resuming there. Hopefully getting to at least 20 and 21. 22 seems to be a little bit no, 22 short. There's 23. But we'll see where we can get. I only have a little bit of time this morning. It's getting harder to wake up. But yeah. Excuse me. We will get done what we can get done. Excuse me. And yeah, continue going forward. So yeah. Let's see here. Just as a little catch up. Let's see, where were we? So Saul's been rejected by David based off of what David's done, and the recognition that the people are giving David rather than giving Saul. Then you see the differences in Michael protecting David, Samuel protecting David. And here in chapter 20, we see where Jonathan, the son of Saul, is also protecting David, because as we remember, Jonathan and David became very good friends. As good of friends as brothers, pretty much. So that's where we're continuing from, where we very vaguely left off from. So continue from there. So yeah, here we go. So chapter 20 in 1 Samuel. Then David fled from Naioth and Ramah and came and said before Jonathan, "What have I done? What is my guilt? And what is my sin before your father, that he seeks my life?" And he said to him, "Far from it, you shall not die. Behold, my father does nothing, either great or small, without disclosing it to me. And why should my father hide this from me? It is not so." But David vowed again, saying, "Your father knows well that I have found favor in your eyes." And he thinks, "Do not let Jonathan know this, lest he be grieved. But truly, as the Lord lives, and as your soul lives, there is but a step between me and death." Then Jonathan said to David, "Whatever you say I will do for you." David said to Jonathan, "Behold, tomorrow is the new moon, and I should not fail to sit at table with the king. But let me go, that I may hide myself in the field till the third day at evening. If your father misses me at all, then say, David earnestly asked leave of me to run into Bethlehem, his city, for there is a yearly sacrifice there for all the clan. If he says good, it will be well with your servant. But if he is angry, then know that harm is determined by him. Therefore deal kindly with your servant, for you have brought your servant into a covenant of the Lord with you. But if there is guilt in me, kill me yourself, for why would you bring me to your father? Or why should you bring me to your father?" And Jonathan said, "Far be it from you. If I knew that it was determined to be by my father that harm should come to you, would I not tell you?" Then David said to Jonathan, "Who will tell me if your father answers you roughly?" And Jonathan said to David, "Come, let us go out into the field." So they both went out into the field. And Jonathan said to David, "The Lord, the God of Israel, be witness. When I have sounded out my father about this time tomorrow, or the third day, behold, if he is well disposed toward David, shall I not then send and disclose it to you? But should it please my father to do you harm, The Lord do so to Jonathan, and more also, if I do not disclose it to you, and send you away, that you may go in safety. May the Lord be with you as he has been with my father. If I am still alive, show me the steadfast love of the Lord, that I may not die, and do not cut off your steadfast love from my house forever, when the Lord cuts off every one of the enemies of David from the face of the earth. And then Jonathan made a covenant with the house of David, saying, May the Lord take vengeance on David's enemies. And Jonathan made David swear again by his love for him, for he loved him as he loved his own soul. Then Jonathan said to him, Tomorrow is the new moon, and you will be missed, because your seat will be empty. On the third day go down quickly to the place where you hid yourself when the matter was in hand, and remain beside the stone heap. And I will shoot 3 arrows to the side of it, as though I shot at a mark. And behold, I will send the boy, saying, Go, find the arrows. If I say to the boy, Look, the arrows are on the side of you, take them, then you are to come, for as the Lord lives, it is safe for you, and there is no danger. But if I say to the youth, Look, the arrows are beyond you, then go, for the Lord has sent you away. And as for the matter of which you and I have spoken, behold, the Lord is between you and me forever. So David hid himself in the field, and when the new moon came, the king sat down to eat food. The king sat on his seat, and as at other times, on the seat by the wall, Jonathan sat opposite, and Abner sat by Saul's side. But David's place was empty. Yet Saul did not say anything that day, for he thought, Something has happened to him. He is not clean, surely he is not clean. But on the second day, the day after the new moon, David's place was empty. And Saul said to Jonathan his son, Why is not the son of Jesse come to the meal, either yesterday or today? Jonathan answered Saul, David earnestly asked leave of me to go to Bethlehem. He said, Let me go, for our clan holds a sacrifice in the city, and my brother has commanded me to be there. So now, if I have found favor in your eyes, let me go away and see my brothers. For this reason he has not come to the king's table. Then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan, and he said to him, You son of a perverse, rebellious woman, do I not know that you have chosen the son of Jesse to your own shame, and to the shame of your mother's nakedness? For as long as the son of Jesse lives on the earth, neither you nor your kingdom shall be established. Therefore send and bring him to me, for he shall surely die. Then Jonathan answered Saul his father, Why should he be put to death? What has he done? But Saul hurled his spear at him to strike him. So Jonathan knew that his father was determined to put David to death. And Jonathan arose from the table in fierce anger, and ate no food the second day of the month, for he was grieved for David, because his father had disgraced him. In the morning Jonathan went out into the field to the appointment with David, and with him a little boy. And he said to his boy, Run and find the arrows that I shoot. As the boy ran, he shot an arrow beyond him. And when the boy came to the place of the arrow and Jonathan had shot, Jonathan called after the boy and said, Is not the arrow beyond you? And Jonathan called after the boy, Hurry, be quick, do not stay. So Jonathan's boy gathered up the arrows and came to his master. But the boy knew nothing, only Jonathan and David knew the matter. And Jonathan gave his weapons to his boy and said to him, Go and carry them to the city. And as soon as the boy had gone, David rose from beside the stone heap and fell on his face to the ground and bowed 3 times. And they kissed one another and wept with one another, David weeping the most. Then Jonathan said to David, Go in peace, because we have sworn both of us in the name of the Lord, saying, The Lord shall be between me and you, and between my offspring and your offspring forever. And he arose and departed, and Jonathan went into the city. See, we got, what time is it? Sorry, just pulling break. 5 o'clock. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it's already 5 o'clock. Oh, I don't want to do this, but seems as though I have to do this. We are only going to be able to get into chapter 20 this morning. I still have to get ready for work and have a half-hour trek ahead of me. But yeah, no, chapter 20 is great set of chapter there, showing the wonderful relationship between David and Jonathan, and the unfortunate ferocity of Saul because of his jealousy towards David is pretty much where it all comes down from. But yeah, no, a wonderful chapter. It makes you feel bad for Jonathan because Jonathan's just kind of stuck in the middle here, because he loves his father, but at the same time, he loves Jonathan, or he loves David just as himself. So, and that's not an easy thing for us to do. So, it is it's a heartwarming and depressing story in chapter 20 in regards to Jonathan and David. But just keynotes here from chapter 20. So from verse 5, the new moon. The new moon sacrificial meal, which was both a religious and civil festival. From verse 12, any time would be better in saying this time. Verses 14 through 15. Kindness, in the Hebrew word is hesed. Love and loyalty, and two essential aspects of the covenant relationship, are bound together in this word. Jonathan recognized that David would one day be king and requested protection for himself and his family when David would take the throne. From verse 16, require it could also mean bring it to pass, even in the face of opposition. From verse 19, when the business was in hand, either a reference to chapter 19, verse 2, or to someone unrecorded, or to some unrecorded occasion when Saul schemed to kill David. Verse 25, Abner was Saul's cousin and commander of his army. Verse 26, not clean, ritually defiled, and thus unable to partake of the festival meal. So Saul's opinion of David, as you can see, is already starting to diminish, because he's immediately thinking, oh, he's only not here because he's unclean, he's dirty, he's done something bad. When we all know this is not true, but still it just gives you an idea of where Saul's head's at. Verse 30, confusion equals shame. Saul vented his anger against Jonathan with the most offensive language, unto the confusion of thy mother's nakedness, an expression meaning your mother will be ashamed that she brought you into the world. That's harsh. From verse 41, until David exceeded, also meaning David broke down with grief. From verse 42, from this point on until Saul's death, David was an outcast from the royal courts. That makes from this point on until Saul. Oh, so it doesn't say anything inside of verse 42, but from verse 42, when it says, then Jonathan said to David, go in peace, because we have sworn both of us in the name of the Lord, saying, the Lord shall be between me and you, and between my offspring and your offspring forever. And he rose and departed, and Jonathan went into the city. From this point on until Saul's death, David was an outcast from the royal court. So that's what that entails. So there we go. There is chapter 20 done for us. We will continue tomorrow morning with chapter 21, 22, and 23. They're shorter chapters, so we should be able to get all three of them in. I do thank you always for joining me. Again, I apologize for the length of time that we went between videos. It does not happen very often. Unfortunately, it does happen, but I will do my best to not let it happen again. So I'll be here. Excuse me. Tomorrow morning. I love you all. God bless you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.